Welcome everyone to Sharp Talk. My name is Tomas. I'm excited to be here with Doug Marcaida. You may know him as a judge on History's Forge and Fire and also an Edge Impact Weapon Specialist with Marcaida Kali. In this episode, we're talking about what?
Weapons of opportunity in your hotel room.
So,
let's cut right into it. Here's one of my favorite. Your shoes. The beauty of this is that it creates a barrier, but when you put it into your hand, it allows to protect your hand, and I can maintain the motion of a fist, like I'm fighting with it, except I am protected. So the point of the shoe, just like as if I'm kicking him, all of a sudden, if I don't have my shoe, I can definitely use it against that. You see, I can poke with that and not feel it penetrate to my hand. But if I want to hit with that, I can hit with the shoe and kick with the shoe and use with the clogs in there. At any point, I can also do it in such a way, now my hand is this way. Now it's even easier for me to slap it. So a lot of the things you see, like me slapping with the Filipino martial arts, where if the techniques were in here and I risk getting cut with my hand, I can do the exact same way here, but not worry about that. This is what it gives me, the whole confidence of facing an edge weapon. Why? Because it's protected. Here, I have to be so pinpoint accurate when this is coming in and I'm striking and everything to protect against the knife, I'm risking cuts to my limb. But if my limb has that extra barrier, then I can be more aggressive because now I'm shielding myself from using all this. And all of a sudden, even if I use any of the empty hand techniques that I do, I can hit that and shoot that in. Another thing the shoe already did is I may have the distance. If I don't require the range with the shoe, I can shoot the shoe out and then hit. Who throws their shoe, really? Well, in Austin Powers, they do.
Well, growing up in a Hispanic household, yeah, you will definitely get slung with the slipper. Welcome back, everyone, to our travel special and hotel security weapons of opportunity. Why do you have a shoe in your hand?
Well, because the shoe is one of my favorite things to protect and use as a barrier to my hand. Why would you want to do that? Number one, it's what you came in the room with, right? It's around. You should have it around because it creates a barrier. What do you mean by a barrier? Well, if he's got an edge weapon.
Done. Okay, that shoe one, game changer. I've never thought about it like that. The hotel card key?
Hotel card keys, very common nowadays. But you can use it like a slashing weapon. Even though it may not have an edge, it's got the edge that can create a little bit of a force multiplier. A punch requires a lot of power behind it. Something that's more like a force multiplier based on an edge doesn't require a lot. And if you go for soft targets like the throat, the eye, areas that you can scratch just to feel that. You can feel all the edges right there. I can use that to help manipulate in the techniques that I already know when I'm slashing. And this is really good for slashing as opposed for stabbing, right? And it just complements my empty hand training. Why is that important? It creates a barrier again. Once again, if I'm doing all this, I don't risk hurting my hands. I've got something that, when we talk about PSI, all points right to that one area, I can focus the strikes in there, especially if I'm slashing soft targets. And it can always be gambit.
One thing I really like about this is like when you're checking into your hotel room, you already have your car key in the hand. So that could preemptively tell you you're ready to roll with something rather than nothing.
So you never know how you actually pick up your card. You could be just putting it around. If I have it overhanded this way, can I use it this way? Absolutely. If you're cupping it, all I'm doing is creating a stronger edge right here. And I would use it exactly like I would use a knife. I have impact with the knuckles, edge with the card as I'm slashing with that. As opposed to, if I'm doing this, I really am not punching with the knuckles here. I can slap you with the back of my hand and slash. If it's underhanded, I can punch and jab with this.
Nice. That's a sharp idea.
Exactly. And talking about what you will already have in your hand, you have this to call 911. And if you don't have it for 911, it's always in your hand. If you're scrolling, it's an impact weapon. You go, I would never hit somebody. It's what's always in your hand. So a lot of people don't realize if you have a shield or anything, I like to use my phone for, once again, just like your room key, as something of point of impact that's a force multiplier. So if it's ready there, use it. I'd rather lose this than my own life.
Absolutely.
Whew, it's getting hot in here. Sight! And of course, towels. If you watch our previous videos before, we've done it on flexible weapons. It's the same thing. I got a small face towel here. What I can do with this are many ways. Number one, I can use it as a barrier against edge, right? If you had a weapon there,
The brand new 007 from TK Nash. All right.
I can use it as a barrier to hold on to that so that I can protect rather than using my own arm. I'd rather have it with this to sacrifice to get in there and then strip the weapon using the towel as opposed to my own skin. I can use it like a stick from a distance and just, basically, I'm sorry, basically, it doesn't take much, so you just whip. Once you're standing whipping, right? But it's not going to kill him. It will just allow me to use other parts because just because I have this, that may be the one that I'm throwing in there, but it's really about the punching and the elbows that we're doing or the kicking and punching. Now another thing, if I throw it and slash with it and I use the middle of the towel, it's not as effective unless once again I am wrapping with it. But if I go with just the tip, if you are able to put a knot, good. If you wet the tip, even better. But I can also whiplash with just the tip, knowing the range of the towel that will also start to put some marks on that. And of course, boom, right? Or who's ever forgotten this, right? So that's the beauty of it. But you can also use it as like I would a stick. I'm not trying to stop him here. This is not stopping the arm. What's stopping the arm is the punch on the face. This is just a guided thing. Or punch you in the face. When I'm doing this, this is just an extra what we call safety factor. I'm really just punching. If he's on the high line, the punch goes there. I'm protecting the arm, the punch goes there. Or I can follow through. Who says you have to hold on to both ends? So the idea here is I'm doing this. If I see the opening is too high, I maintain it. I loosen and punch the bottom. If I see the openings on the high line, I can push down, hit with that, and keep it down here. On the inside, the same idea. I can hit it, punch with this, or go to the outside of this. It's not about pushing the arm, it's about punching and pushing the arm, and then I can go to long-range striking. Very versatile weapon once you understand it as an impact weapon.
That's cool.
And finally, we have dreaded hairdryer. Now, if you're into firearms, you can also know that the minute you run out of bullets, it's an impact tool of using this, right? It's like a gun. So it's leading with the edge over there. I can use this angle right here to hook this and hit with it. But I also have this end right here to also help with wrapping, and it's an impact and wrap thing. If I have it on the other hand, I can also use the end of this as a weighted flail, right? Now you got a mace of sorts, right? You use a towel right there. So basically, I mean, you can tell already there's weight to this. There's weight to this right here. So I can strike and hit, strike, strike, strike to create the opening of hitting and hitting and hitting. A lot of times, what I showed in previous ones, because of a weight of the weapon, and we'll go very slow, cover your face, I'm going to go lightly and just wrap around. If I throw this, that's it right there, right? If I go around his face, you can see that the cord will wrap around and hit his face. And trust me, it will. If I go fast, it's going to hurt. But it's not that it's going to stay there. I follow up with hitting with this. If I use the weight of the flexible on your arm, look at what the weight does. It's going to wrap around multiple times, right? So I already captured him. So I'm going to go slow because of the weight of the air. Once it wraps around, I pull down, I control the hand immediately. If I go fast and hard, the minute this wraps around, I pull. Then I hit.
All that friction just rips it down.
Exactly. It just grabs the arm, and then you still have this other end to hit.
You know what I really like about this too is that because of the shape of it in the reverse grip, you can also hook
just like a karambit.
Like a karambit.
And it's not just that. It's almost one of those, like those ancient weapons from China, right? I have the edge here, like the karambit, but I still have this to wrap around. I can also use this to wrap and protect myself. So if I need to use this to protect my hand, I can use that as a shield. But I also like it on the end here because I got that flail as to where I can see the karambit piece, punch, or using this to hit with that, sorry. You can always use these things. And of course, at any point, if I wanted to, I can wrap around and snap and then just choke him and hit him.
That's a great point because after you subdue a suspect, Now you have a way to wrap them up.
The subduing or using or wrapping or anything is that means you're going to control them. It's not what you want. You want to be able to get out there, but sometimes it just happens. So all of this is all dependent on their reaction, their speed. It's all a matter of opportunity. We have weapons of opportunity. The techniques are also opportunity. Whatever happens is presented to you, you adapt, improvise, and overcome.
That's amazing. And these aren't the weapons. These are tools. You are the weapon. And if you're interested in learning more, where can we go?
Go to dougmarcaida.com. You can also look at my online videos, but we feature a lot of these on our YouTube channel, Sharp Talk, my YouTube in Doug Marcaida, and anywhere else you can find us when you Google us, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
And if you guys are interested in the Bay Area, check out Original Corona Screama and the Tactical Tavern for gadgets, gear, and all things everyday carry. Doug Marcaida, this was awesome. Hopefully our audience learned some. Share it with a friend that travels to keep others safe. And with that being said,
Stay sharp.
Nice.
All right.
That's it right there.